Hey y'all, so the career that I chose was a marriage and family therapist. And I particularly chose this one because one of my professors is a marriage and family therapist, and just him talking about it in class kind of intrigued me. And he actually has a practice here in town in Rexburg. So it's kind of cool just to have class with someone who's practicing all the time. But he says that this job is one where you have to have a master's degree, and everything online kind of confirms that. There's other things that you can do after you get a master's if you kind of want to excel in your career. Many people earn like licensed clinical social work degrees, so it gives you an opportunity to, not just do therapy, but, become more flexible and do things like administration. And then there's I think it's called a doctoral, like PhD type thing. It's like a PhD, and it gives you the opportunity to contribute clinically instead of academically to your specific field that you're working in. And so it's kind of cool that you just have options to kind of move forward with and change a little bit over time with this job. The working environment, typical work hours, most marriage and family therapists are going to work at least 40 hours a week plus. Some people work up to like 65. If they're really dedicated, they usually work in mental health centers, substance abuse treatment centers, hospitals, and colleges. And you can have like your own private practice, or you could work in an employee assistant program. Most people tend to stay in one place, but some people will travel to people's homes for appointments or different things. Just kind of depends on, how you're wanting to do it. There's a lot of stressors. I mean, you're working with people who are telling you about their personal lives. So you can learn a lot of bad, you can learn a lot of good. It can be really emotionally demanding. And you have to know how to separate work from your personal life, especially because of confidentiality. You can't go home and share that with your wife or your kids or your friends. Like, that has to be 100% separate. Even to the point where my professor was telling us a story the other day where he has to make sure that his wife doesn't open the mail because the names of the clients are on the checks that are sent to him, and that breaks confidentiality. So even small things like that, you have to be, kind of 100% sure to keep that from anyone outside of yourself. But, spending one-on-one time with clients is, especially if you have angry clients, especially when it comes to divorce, it can be difficult. My professor said he's been attacked by clients before. So, it can be dangerous if they become aggressive, if they don't like the outcome, especially with couples. And so you got to be kind of careful in that aspect. This job can include some job benefits. Some people offer like medical and life insurance, 401ks, and sometimes paid vacation as well. And some of the job tasks with this job is, you interact with marriage and family units. Sometimes you work with individuals themselves as well. And, you kind of always work together with the clients to solve the issues and make plans. You're trying to resolve domestic issues. So, you kind of have to work with them on what's going to be best for them based off their culture, where they're coming from, what they're doing, and what they're comfortable with changing. So you have people do different exercises. You can discuss certain topics. You can have them fill out surveys or forms about situations that they've been in, like, what was your dating life like when you got married, so you can understand kind of where they're coming from. A lot of evaluation discussion, but you also have the responsibility of filling out a ton of paperwork because you're working with insurance agencies and such to get payment for services and, whatever different companies you might be involved with for that. So that could be kind of tedious. That tends to come with most jobs, though, in the field. You're going to have to do that at some point. Starting salary is $30,540, so you're doing, okay, around $30,000. Experienced person, the highest I found was $81,960. So it's a pretty good range. You can afford quite a bit there, live pretty comfortably. And the job growth is actually expected to be 19% through 2024, so that's significantly higher than a lot of other jobs. And U.S. News and World Report said that it was like one of the top ranking jobs. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But finding a job really depends on where you look for employment, because a lot of places nowadays have like had budget cuts for their health care and or like layoffs, and so like, but people are still hiring marriage and family therapists because they're very much needed. They're important, and people need to have that kind of help to keep their family together. So, I mean, all in all, it sounds like a great job. Obviously, there's a lot of work that goes into becoming a marriage and family therapist. I mean, you've got to get a master's degree, and you've got to, take plenty of tough classes, and I'm sure do a little bit of research. So, yeah, it's something definitely to look into.